Hello everybody, my name is Serenity, and I'm going to be casting a couple games here from the Eat, Sleep, Play Dota 2 guild. They play a lot of in-houses. Used to be a professional gaming team. They started out in Call of Duty, moving on to League of Legends, and now looking like they are the biggest Dota 2 guild as of right now, running in-houses all day long, everywhere from Australia, EU, North America, all across the board. I watched a couple games from them yesterday, and they had some pretty interesting games. I mean, a couple of them were kind of one-sided. A lot of Clockwork play. I wouldn't be surprised to see Clockwork banned out here. But I'm not too sure who was playing that. So maybe not even in the game this time around. But he was damn scary yesterday. So might see him even just blanket banned out. But so far, pretty typical bans. Weaver finding his way into the ban pool. One of the more odd bans. Usually you see the Wisp banned out. Maybe a Treant Protector if you want to go for an easy ban, but Wisp is available here early on, but they will go for the Darkseer. Has a very strong laning presence early on. Very good against melee carries in that off lane. Hard to last hit versus Darkseer. The Lifestealer being banned out by the Radiant team, so one of those heroes that deals pretty well with the Ion Shell is not going to be available this time. Going to be grabbing the Naga Siren instead, which is a fair pickup. Get the Visage as well. You already have a pretty dominant tri-lane situation for you. Naga Siren with her disengage power out of the ultimate as well is going to be pretty difficult to deal with. If your fight's not going for way, it's pretty much a reset button. Also a very good engagement tool. You can use it to get into fights if you have something that is an AoE ability. Hard to land. I've seen a lot of professional teams picking up actually a Kunko with Naga Siren. Combats the OD fairly well. And also handles the boat. You're able to throw the boat, then end the sleep, and it's so much easier to hit boat then with the Kunkka's Rum on top of it. It's hard to lose a team fight when you have that much team fight potential. But probably not going to see a Kunkka this time around, since how OD is banned out in the first stage of bans. More than likely looking towards the support here out of the Dire team. Two of the strongest supports already picked up on the Radiant. So they're going to have to pick up something here. I mean, there are some pretty big carries left in the pool. There's an Alchemist available. Hasn't been so popular as of late, but he still is kind of an early game powerhouse. Gyrocopter is in the pool as well, but I feel like picking up a carry at this point would kind of limit your ability to run some more versatile lane situations. Chen is available as well. Wouldn't be too bad of a pickup. Your Darkseer is going to deal with a tri-lane pretty mediocrely. Visage is going to be able to harass him out of lane pretty easily. So you're going to want to probably abandon that off lane pretty early on. And they're going to grab the Nyx Assassin, so it will be a support out of them. Very popular support, kind of tapering off as of late, but still one of those top tier supports with the Impale being able to deal a lot of damage. An AoE kind of ish ability, it goes in a line, but can stun up multiple targets. Mana burn, not being anything to laugh about either. Burns mana out, does quite a bit of damage versus intelligence heroes. And Vendetta, just being able to scout out heroes, is a good hero for those Nyx bombs, but not going to see those this time around with Nyx being banned out. So a little bit less options with the Nyx Assassin, but still a fairly viable hero. Could run him towards the mid lane, but I highly doubt it in this situation. Gives them a little bit of versatility though. Probably should look towards maybe banning out some offlaners here. They already have a great one in Darkseer. They already have both their supports on the Radiant team's side. At this point, there's too much in the mid lane to really focus on banning out, but they will go for the Alchemist ban. Maybe having a plan for their carry that's not so typical, but now a Gyrocopter banned out, so both teams feeling comfortable that they're going to have their carry in the end. Weaver's not in this pool though. Lifestealer and Gyro as well as the Alchemist already banned out. So your carry limitations are pretty high. You need to get something in terms of a big farmer unless you want to go all out aggressive. There is a Troll Warlord who has been pretty popular as of late, and there goes Nature's Prophet out of the pool, so pretty good ban in my opinion. Get out some sort of off-laning heroes, and you get to respond with a Jakiro ban. So a little bit less options in terms of support for the Dire team. But as of right now, they probably need to start looking towards some of their core heroes. And a Lone Druid picked up now. Seeing that they need something to go up against what they have. I mean, Lone Druid being one of those heroes that can just go down towards the off lane, try to pull some creeps over to his tower. Not so easy to do compared to on the Dire team, but still is doable. And can survive in the off lane pretty well against a Nyx Assassin. You're going to stand pretty far back, getting last hits with the bears.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And Dire really needs to look towards their core heroes. They have no mid as of right now. Nyx Assassin can go mid, but probably not going to do so. Their carry position is yet to be seen. They really don't have any strong farmers right now. It's going to be a Timber Saw, so strong mid laner. Can go to the off lane if required, but right with the Dark Seer, I don't think that's going to happen. Probably not going to really stay around the off lane too much anyways. So middle lane, pretty good hero for the mid lane. He's a pretty dominant hero there. I mean, you could look towards something out of the Radiant team, something like a Dragon Knight, to be able to go up against Timber Saw. Has a very good kind of ability to push the Timber Saw a little bit out of lane, but with that Whirling Death and with the regen on him, gonna be really hard to dominate a Timber Saw. You still have Puck available, of pretty good hero to deal with Timber Saw. I mean, there's not really anything that you can do to completely dominate Timber Saw. If you get a hero that's very dominant in mid, he can just get another point up in his reactive armor, and his regen's going to be through the roof, so you're not going to be able to really barrel down on him too much early on. And they're going to grab an Invoker. So a bit of an odd pickup there, but certainly a very strong mid laner. Not going to be able to throw too much harassment on Timber Saw early on, but when he gets up some points in the Exhort, starts going for some big Sunstrikes, the Cold Snap to start it off, followed by a Sunstrike, can be pretty devastating. Timber Saw having a lot of regen, but his armor not going to help him out too much if you get bursted down by a pure damage ability.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Our team needs to think about their carry. They need to think about their second support, but I feel like the carry is a little bit more important here. They're going to pick up a Slardar. So I don't know too much about what that pickup's about. I don't feel like Slardar does anything particularly well. His minus armor in his ultimate isn't the best. His bash is pretty unreliable. His stun is decent. And his movement speed is nice, but I feel like there's just heroes that do all of that and more, like the Bounty Hunter is able to track down heroes, stops invis. You get movement speed for all of your allies rather than just yourself. The Shuriken Toss does a lot of damage, but Slardar are going to be the pickup here, looking towards maybe farming him up at the top lane. And I'm a little bit concerned about their lineup right now. If they're going for a mega farm on Slardar, they have a lot of aggression early on out of the Darkseer. I mean, their whole team is just geared towards this early aggression kind of strategy. But they don't really have those heroes to push down towers. They have a lot of nuke damage for the waves, and that's going to be a Kunkka pickup for the Radiant team. So maybe a safe lane farming Invoker this time around. It could be a Kunkka as well. Could go either way, really. Kunkka would deal pretty well with a Timber Saw. His Tidebringer doing quite a bit of damage, but again, the reactive armor giving him a lot of regen. So that kind of sustained damage over time is not really going to help you out in the laning phase. You want to kind of go for that huge burst damage to bring down a Timber Saw, and right now they don't really have it, except for in the Invoker, so I'd expect to see him towards the mid lane so far.
5 seconds remaining.
And the likelihood of them going tri-lane versus tri-lane here is possible. They do have a Nyx Assassin, but I don't think they really want to go that route. Right now it looks like they're just... I mean, they have a Slardar, so they kind of have to. I mean, if they let this Lone Druid farm up on top, it's going to be an issue for them if they run the tri-lane on bottom. And then, even then, can you deal with a Visage and a Naga Siren plus a Kunkka down there? I don't think you really can. Slardar's stun is nice, but it doesn't really do that much damage. But we'll have to see how they lane it here to really show us what they're going to do in this game. And I have no idea what these heroes or these players play usually in terms of position. So that's not going to give us any hints this time around. But at this point, I mean, Radiant Straps is just looking a little bit stronger. They have the pushing power out of the Lone Druid, even if they want to push early, but I don't think they really need to. They get Lone Druid farmed up, they get Kunkka farmed up, A farmed Kunkka or a Slardar is not really that scary in the grand scheme of things. And I just think that the Dire team's draft is a little bit weaker here. But we'll see going into this game. Darkseer will be picking up the wards. So it looks like they're going to head towards bottom to try to block that camp out early on. Darkseer going to be trying to contest that a little tiny bit on bottom lane, but ultimately I feel like he's just going to have to head down to the jungle, stack up some camps, and find some farm. But we'll go ahead and introduce the Radiant team first off. Have a little bit of a pause off, but we will have Taflo 4 picking up the Kunkka, head towards top lane as of right now. Jake's picking up the Naga Siren, headed that way as well as the Visage. So it looks like they want to contest that tri-lane up top, which I don't think they really need to. They're going to get their Lone Druid farm on the bottom lane, though, which is going to help them out. But anyways, let's continue introducing these heroes. It's going to be Ewehag picking up the Visage. Easy on the Invoker, headed mid, with a solo farming bottom Lone Druid. And the big deal here is this Lone Druid's going to find a lot of farm down here. Darkseer's going to be able to deal with them fairly well with the Ion Shell, but against the Bear, not going to do too much damage. You have 6 tangos, so you're going to be able to just range auto attack down these creeps most likely. Tank up under the tower with the Bear, if it gets to that point. Middle here we have Kargak picking up the Timbersaw. Alicia's picking up the Keeper of the Light, going top right now. Valiant on the Nyx Assassin. Ace of Spades picking up the Darkseer. And that leaves Final to grab the Slardar last off. So we're going to see a tri-lane versus a tri-lane here. And in this situation, I feel like the Naga Siren, Visage, and Kunkka lane is going to work out in their favor. They have a lot of lockdown right now. They have the net out of Naga Siren. They have the slow out of the Visage, as well as the Tidebringer and the Torrent out of the Kunkka. Wait, what the hell? Apparently he can hear me. I don't think that's supposed to happen. Am I in a broadcast position? Well, I hope that you can't hear me, because that'd be a little bit awkward. That's really creepy. Mute your speakers, bro. I don't know what to tell you. That shouldn't happen. So he's going to disconnect out of this one. We'll see if he can hear me when he's disconnected. If the answer is no, then he probably is not hearing me through the game. I can't imagine that happening. I've never heard of that happening before. But anyways, in this tri-lane, I feel like it's going to be difficult for the Dire to really find anything up there. I mean, they do have quite a bit of stun coming out. They have the Nyx Assassin stun. They have the Slardar stun as well. I mean, they have a Keeper of the Light, who I don't think is really going to be that big of a deal. Illuminate, not the hugest tri-lane tool. I've never heard of this issue happening before. It's kind of strange. And I mean, if they focus on this Keeper of the Light finding farm in the jungle, I mean, you can do that. You can stack up this small camp, do quite a bit of damage with Illuminate, and get some extra levels on your Keeper of the Light, as well as some gold. But if you're doing that, then you're leaving a Slardar as well as a Nyx Assassin to go up against a Visage, a Naga Siren, and a Kunkka. And I'm not really too certain that that's going to work out in your favor. The Bear's going to find farm on bottom. Kunkka's probably going to find some farm as well as kills on top lane. And right now it just seems like the Radiant's just coming out on top in terms of what lanes they're finding, in terms of what they're getting. But it is yet to be seen. It all comes down to execution in Dota 2. There's no games won or lost by drafts, by picks, positioning on the map even. You have to land those abilities at the right time, in the right order, or else, I mean, you're going to have a hard time doing much of anything. This middle lane should go decently for Kargak for most of the game. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. Kargak is what I'm going to say. Hopefully that's correct. Going to be rushing up a bottle pretty early on, getting a stout shield, trying to block some of that damage out of Invoker, and Invoker's damage is pretty low lately. With those nerfs to him after TI2, he's just never been really the same hero. Sitting at 59 damage right now, with 3 points in Exhort up. Well, 3 balls of Exhort, only 1 point in the skill. getting the Blaze attack first, so he is going for a phase boost rush. Kind of old school status there. Gives him that bonus damage he really desperately needs. But that's kind of sad though. 59 damage with Blade of Attack. I mean, that gives you plus 9 damage already. His base damage is so low. Nyx, can you hear me, son? Nyx. I don't think you can hear me. I think this is good. I think this is great. Everything's working out. Maybe. It is yet to be seen. Valiant has yet to make his move. Well, that's a bit of an issue, I suppose. You just mute the game. Play without sound, be a man. This is reminding me of Star Ladder. Every single game in Star Ladder, it seems like they have to remake the games. Which probably isn't really their fault too much. Because really half the time they start the games without all the players in the lobby, which is quite annoying. Okay, so we're finally getting back into this one. So we'll be able to see what they do. Lots of laughs coming out from all the lolling and laughing that was done by the players in chat. All released at once after the pause. And Ace of Spades does have up those wards. Looks like he was going to head towards the jungle there, but is headed towards the bottom lane. And I feel like he's going to have a pretty hard time down bottom lane. He will be able to contest the farm a lone druid. So I feel like at this point he's not going to rotate out. He's not finding that lane up against a tri-lane. So he's not going to rotate out into the jungle. Just try to lock down the lone druid as much as possible, which will be pretty difficult. I mean, he has the ranged auto attack out of himself and is bare able to tank up into the tower. So it shouldn't be too difficult here. And the Radiant team is maybe trying to block up this camp. They have wards on the Visage. But so far, not really rotating towards it, just blocking out the hard camp, maybe. Nope, just chilling out. And it's going to be really up to the Dire team to put on the pressure here. If they don't pressure the Radiant team just completely out of control, it's going to be hard for them to really make up that differential. They're going to get behind in gold, they're going to get behind in experience. Lone Druid's going to kind of barrel over you in the later stages of the game. Slardar, not a very hard carry. He doesn't scale the best, his abilities especially. But we'll have to see what they do going into this one. So far in the mid lane, a little bit of auto attacks being traded out, but not too much otherwise. 1 point up in that reactive armor, going to keep him pretty safe. Valiant finding the ward, going to clear that one out of there, so a nice pickup by him, going to find the ward out early on. I'm going to get the stack probably at the 2 minute mark. So going to be able to help him out a little bit. And it's going to be up to, we're probably going to watch the top lane quite a bit this time around. I mean, the Dire team really needs to put on pressure. I mean, starting right now, if they let this Kunkka get CS, which he is not really finding too much of, he has 3 CS to the 0 of Slardar right now 1 of Slardar. If he outfarms the Slardar, this game's going to be completely won. This lane, rather. If they beat them in kills, that might be the game. I don't really see the Slardar carrying into the later stages of the game. He doesn't have the ability to flash farm. He doesn't have the scaling that any of the heroes really do on the Radiant team side. And so far, no really aggression coming out of the Dire team in any of these lanes. The bottom lane going pretty well in favor of the Lone Druid so far. 5 CS to 4 of the Darkseer, but now underneath the tower going to be a little bit harder farming. Finding the CS though. Has that increased auto attack damage underneath the tower from the bears, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find that CS. Keeping well above the damage of the tower, so not going to be denied by those random tower hits. And so far, no pressure out of them. They're not even farming up the camps with the Keeper of the Light. They need to make a move fairly soon. They're going to stack up this camp and pull it out, which is going to bring the creep wave underneath their tower. But right now, Kunkka does have 7 last hits, while Slardar is sitting at 1, which is just absolutely huge. We're going to start to see the gold graph get completely out of control fairly soon. Sunstrike already up at level 2. 4 easy. Going to be looking for those globally on the map. And with the lockdown at a Naga Siren, that's pretty much a guaranteed Sunstrike on top lane. And you don't really have the damage to just completely overbarrel a hero very quickly. Well, I feel like the Radiant team does. I don't want to talk them down at all, but I feel like this draft is just going so far in their favor, and the lanes they're finding are working out so well. Throws down another ward, going to be dewarding the sentry, so that'll be a little bit of an issue for the Dire team to deal with as well. Slardar now finding 2 last hits, going to be impaling up Jake's. Jake's in a little bit of trouble here. Visage trying to do some soul assumption damage to the Keeper of the Light, but just going to bring it on back. Torrent hits as well. And final, taking some auto attack damage from the Visage. Valiant looking for something, and Illuminate to fly over 2 heroes. Kunkka is actually torrented up. He gets killed by an impale, and an auto attack at a Slardar. A little bit out of position there. I didn't even think he was that far forward. A little bit of a mistake in positioning. Getting a little bit over eager there. Maybe thinking the Sunstrike was coming out of easy on mid lane, but it indeed did not fly. So already first blood going the way of the Dire, which is, I mean, surprising to me. Just a little bit of positioning mistakes, forcing a little bit of a fight here around the pull camp, just proving not to be in their favor. And Timbersaw now finding a double damage rune, filling up his bottle, not having to crow it back to base. Nice pickup for him. Might be able to do a little bit of damage to the Invoker on mid lane with that rune. He has full mana and HP right now, so going to be throwing a couple whirling deaths on him. Probably being pretty, I want to say elusive, that's not a word, but a good ensnare landing on Ace of Spades. Going to take him down pretty low, but Surge is going to get him out of there A-okay. Sitting at 14 mana though. Might just want to head back to base at this point, or risk giving a kill away. I mean, if you get another ensnare up, if that was Sunstruck, or Sunstruck, if there was a Sunstrike, been very difficult for him to survive that. It would have been a guaranteed kill. There were no creeps around, and looking like they may want to go on final, but I don't think they really need to push the pressure on this. It's up to the Dire team to really engage. They just need to play this one defensively. Let the Slardar not find the CS he's been finding. He's found 8 so far to the 20 of Kunkka. So absolutely overbarreling him. If you look at their last hit graph, it's 3 heroes on the Radiant team, far above the Dire. Timbersaw, the only one close behind at 15 CS. The Darkseer, in fact, finding only 8 CS on the bot lane to the 22 of the Lone Druid, which is just going to continue to barrel out of control. Lone Druid going to be just pushing down this tower pretty quickly, actually. Surprisingly low amount of push coming out of this Darkseer. Ion Shell not being used too much. There's no clarities on him. And going to be getting his Soul Ring brought to him on the courier now. Meanwhile, at the top lane, throwing Illuminate over these waves, I feel like, is only losing them this battle. You need to head over to the jungle, maybe stack some camps, get some levels by yourself. Haste Rune, though, being picked up by Timbersaw, could try to do something with this. He has Chakram off, what is enabled now, has level 6, so is able to go and find maybe a kill here. Has a haste as well as a double damage. I can't imagine him not going for that Lone Druid, a very squishy target. Does have his level 6, though, so up to 1.2k experience, or HP. Experience. And a Surge up on the Darkseer, but nothing really to fly it besides that. Haste and DD, though, the Chakram flying all over Ashoska. Going to be doing a lot of damage. DD, one more hit, it's going to seal his fate. Trying to go for Ace of Spades, but not able to have enough damage to really bring him down. Meanwhile, in the top lane, drawing out a little bit of something on the map, was the Slardar. Couple pings will be flying here, but nothing to really find. There's a ward spotting this out from the Dire, so they will not be able to get that ward, actually. It's stuck in the trees, they don't see it. And you're going to be blocking up that camp. TP up top from Kargik. Looking for something, maybe the Visage. Visage is going to be stuck in an impale here pretty soon. Gets impaled up. There's the Illuminate to fly afterwards. Timberchain going to come forward, most likely. Kunkka trying to do a little bit of damage with Tidebringer, but the Chakram flying over all these heroes in the Whirling Death. Going to get a triple kill the way of Kargik. And just when I was talking about how in favor this game was going for the Radiant, a triple kill for Kargik, a kill on bottom lane as well. He's sitting at 4-0 right now, or 3-0 on the Timber side. Looks like the kill went the way of Darkseer on the bottom lane. But damn, dude. Just making this Timbersaw work, finding all the runes, absolutely zero rune control so far from the Invoker, no Sunstrikes being even attempted. And it's going to be up to the Radiant team now to really show that they can kind of play this defensively. So far, they've been kind of taking some risks here. I mean, this is a pretty place to be sitting in the jungle when you have no wards up, especially when there's a missing Timber Saw. But the CS still going well in the way of the Radiant team. Gold graph probably pretty even. Yeah, just sitting around 0, but the experience graph going the way of the Dire with those kills. On middle lane, Visage slowing down Valiant there. Not going to get a kill on him, though. Not nearly enough damage. And Slardar still not finding much CS. He only has 1 kill. Finding power treads relatively soon, opting not to go for that Tranquil build. And no Lucky Ensnare is going to seal his death. One Ensnare, though, on the Darkseer is going to be a kill if they coordinate it correctly with the Invoker. A Sunstrike and an Ensnare, and a Hand of Midas now on Invoker, so he's looking to farm this one up. Not getting those Fades boots. Getting a 8-minute Midas. Not the slowest Midas. I mean, on Invoker, it's pretty decent. He's sitting at 30 CS right now. But he's going to be a little bit less useful on these early stages of the game. Going to find some more experience, though, which is one of the main reasons that you get this Hand of Midas. But on top lane, they're going on Slardar. Slardar trying to get hit by the Sunstrike. Not going to land, though. It doesn't matter. Getting down very easily. And that's just the power of this tri-lane. Visage, Naga Siren, and as well as the Kunkka. I mean, Visage and Naga Siren are pretty much the backbone of this tri-lane. And there's a reason why professionals pick this up pretty much every game. It's just so strong. The slows, it's hard to escape the slow itself. The net, locking you down in position. Even if you're a Darkseer, you can't get out of that. And speaking of Darkseer, he is wandering around very low. Only having a, but look at middle lane, going in on the Invoker, trying to Sunstrike to save his life. Juking around the tower, has a Cold Snap available. Timber Chain misses, actually it lands, but getting stunned on out of it. The Chakram to fly, though, finishes off Invoker on the mid lane. And even more kind of momentum going the way of the Dire team. Ace of Spades, though, sitting at just the Soul Ring right now. Mana Boots now available. Needs to get up that mech fairly soon if he wants to be much of a team fight kind of helper. Going to be getting some points up in Wall of Replica pretty soon. Sitting at level 8. Usually you get it at around 10 and 11. Maybe an earlier level at 9. But looking at the XP tab, it is still going the way of the Dire, actually. I feel like they can boost this up by getting some stack camps from the Keeper of the Light. But feeling like they need to get that pressure on them in lane. And they really do. I mean, CS with Kunkka is sitting at 46, has phase boots available, a bracer, maybe head towards drums this time around, not rushing the Shadow Blade. And down on bottom lane, Timbersaw coming in, looking for something, pops an Invis rune. He's not spotted out by anything, and it's going to spell Akasha's death if he's not careful. So far, he's been hanging out under his tower, but out he comes to farm some creeps. There's an Ion Shell floating around on the Invis Timbersaw, looking for a kill here. He's going to find it. There's the Chakram. Going to Timber Chain over it. Whirling Death to follow. There comes back the Chakram, and an easy kill for the Timbersaw. Now 7-1 in favor of the Dire team. And they're just looking so strong in terms of these kills. This Slardar hasn't really been showing much of anything so far, but once he gets up an item here, maybe he goes Blink Dagger, it's going to be very scary to initiate on anybody over there. The Lone Druid not firing much farm right now. I'm not sure what he has on his bear, but I think it's just like boots, phase boots maybe. Looking for a kill on Keeper of the Light, but not going to find it. Torrent does not land. There's no net to follow it up. But if they do net someone, followed by a Torrent and a Sunstrike, it's going to be hard to survive that. Timbersaw heads back towards middle. His CS still pretty low, sitting at 36 to the actually 41 of Invoker. So Invoker not doing the best job in farming on middle lane. Needs to pick that one up if he wants to catch up in terms of gold. He is sitting at level 9 underneath the Timbersaw, even with that Midas. Good job there, dropping the boots, using the bottle chargers to give himself a little bit of boost in mana, getting himself all the way up to full HP. And Ace of Spades now full health and mana. Well, mana's at halfway, but I mean he has a Soul Ring and mana boost, so practically full health and mana. Actually doing a good job in pushing down this tower. With the Ion Shell, killing the creep waves fairly quickly. A Torrent going to be thrown, not landing on the Keeper of the Light though. Need to coordinate these like team fights a little bit better. Throwing a net now on Alicious, but nothing to really follow it up with. There's no Sunstrike going to come in, and here's Kunkka's death. Gets locked down by the Slardar and just totally brought down. Now chasing onto the Naga Siren. Will she get away out of this team fight? I don't think so. There's a sprint coming out of the Slardar. Getting blocked behind a creep though. Not going to be able to get around that. She does use a salve to get up to full health, and I feel like if they dive too far, it might be a little bit of a bad move. Timbersaw, Timber taking up to the high ground. Nets up final, but not going to be able to slow him down. Jace is going to go down here. Timbersaw going to get the kill. And Kunkka in a little bit of a defensive position now. He can't go up and farm this lane. The bear sitting at 0 and 2. His bear does have phase boost up, so he does have a little bit of something. But not going to be that dominant presence here so far in the game that this Timbersaw has been. The Invoker as well, just kind of sitting at mid lane, which you kind of have to do as Invoker. You have to get your first item up. The Hand of Midas especially pins you down in this situation where you're kind of committed to farming it out. You're committed to getting extra levels with the Hand of Midas, but the Timbersaw just finding more in terms of kills, in terms of pretty much everything. 1.5k gold lead and a 3k experience lead now for the Dire team. Going to push them up in a little bit of a dominant position. The Slardar, again, not finding too much in terms of CS or kills, sitting at 1 and 1 with 27 CS. Not the worst. But at this point in the game, I mean, Kunkka's sitting at 60. He is getting a little bit brought behind by that those kills on top lane. He's sitting at 0 and 3. But his net worth, I believe, is still above the Slardar's. Yep, it's 3.3 to 2.9. So far, the Slardar not really too paying too much off. No Lucky Entangle is going to be grabbing Ace of Spades at this moment. And now the Radiant team pushing a little bit under the tower. It's just kind of a scary position for them. If Timbersaw chooses the TP top, he does have a TP. It's going to be hard for him. Already having a Perseverance up, that Bloodstone not far off, only about 1,500 gold. And at that point, he's going to be a kind of roaming presence. Mana pool, health pool isn't too scary anymore. If he gets charges up in that Bloodstone, he can even carry the entire game for your team. There's a net up on final. Torrent to follow. No Sunstrike, though. Going to be impaling up Visage as well as Kunkka. In comes the Timbersaw. Going to be throwing Chakram over the entire fight, getting ahead with the Timber Chain. Going to be doing a lot of damage. Kunkka does go down. Jake's now. Hot pursuit on him. Will they find a kill? Impale available. Does not miss the Impale. Impale does not land. Chakram slowing her down, though. There's a Whirling Death and one last hit from the Timbersaw. Going to finish her off 13 and 1. Free kills some more for Dire. 2k gold now advantage, and you're just kind of negating this net worth lead. Now this tier 1 top is looking in dire straits, sitting at full HP at current, but not for too much longer. Chakram began to clear wave so fast, as well as the Illuminate from Keep of the Light, throwing it already. Down goes that creep wave. Timber Chaining getting that gold for himself, and this tower's not long for this world. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, the tier 1 bottom, not looking too hot either. But on top lane, the boat lands on final. Going to be getting a kill on him with the Visage. Now chasing onto Kargik, but I think that's a bad idea. Going to be throwing the Chakram, slowing him down, trying to stop him from coming out. Full charge Soul Assumption is not going to be used. Maybe looking for a kill on ESP Valiant, but not going to be able to do so. Torrent going to fly and miss. Going to Vendetta up and actually turn around and get the kill on him. The Sunstrike not going to land. Using the Spike Carapace to try to escape. Timbersaw now coming in. He's pretty low HP. Visage might be able to finish him off with another Soul Assumption. He has a Magic Stick charge as well, and Timbersaw does go down. So a little bit of over-aggression there. Darkseer also dying in the bottom lane to the hands of the Lone Druid solo. There was no Sunstrike used there. And a good job out of the Radiant team, kind of coming back into this one. So Dire showing that they can really make stuff happen with this lineup. The Slardar, again, I don't feel like is really doing too much. Going for a Helm of the Dominator. Or maybe an Armlet actually is a more likely item for him. I feel like he needs that Blink Dagger for the initiation. He's not going to be that super hard carry. And easy, grabbing up his phase boots. Mana boots now on the Naga Siren as well. Looking towards grabbing a big creep here with his Hand of Midas. And on bot lane, the bear looking pretty scary. He has Tranquils up on himself, 2.1k as well. Might be going for a Radiance this time around. Wouldn't be a bad idea. A lot of early aggression coming out of this team. But, I mean, there's going to be a Bloodstone soon on this Timbersaw. There's going to be a Armlet on the Slardar. So the HP pools on them are pretty high, and the Radiance is going to kind of taper off in terms of its worth. But Nyx Assassin, not one of those heroes that can really deal with that too well. You can Spike Carapace and stun up the target. But not really good with sustained damage. He doesn't really have anything to block that out. Keeper of the Light as well. The Darkseer, though, is pretty tanky. Going to be getting up that mechanism relatively soon. Just needs the... Actually, no, he needs, like, the Ring of Health or Ring of Regen. Impale going on the Invoker as well as a Vendetta was used here, and down goes the Invoker. Very easy kill for them. And just finding these pickoffs, middle lane rotations, working to perfection. And this tier 1 tower looking a little bit hard now, and hard times. But the tier 1 top did stand on top. That turnaround, managing to save it. Tier 1 bottom, the only tower falling. Timbersaw going balls deep, getting a bit of CS. Pushing out this lane a little bit more. I can't imagine this tower standing too much longer. Top lane, though, a little bit of a push going on, but only a Naga Siren. Not going to be doing too much. No points in the illusion as of right now.
structures are
Gonna fortify up this tower. Maybe looking to defend it. There's a Visage in position. Gonna be slowing down Kargik. But not enough damage. Down goes the tower. Boat's gonna fly in and hit nobody. Gonna be able to dodge that easily. No denying that tower. Timbersaw
Radiant's middle tower
showing a dominant position. Now going onto the Kunkka. Not enough damage to bring him down. Look at how fast he melted. I couldn't even have time to say they initiated on him. He was already dead. Naga Siren now rotating in. Bad place to be for Jakes. Does go down. Timbersaw rather, going to finish him off with the Chakram. And, I mean, your saving grace is going to be this bear, but will it be in time to really stop these pushes? Final now farming up the top lane. Has complete free farm, sitting at 42 CS. Trying to catch up to that of Kunkka's, who is sitting at 69 CS. Still big three are in the terms of the Radiant team, so their farm is looking better. Their net worths are kind of on par. But these kills just giving them a lot of momentum, a lot of map control as well. Gonna be able to maybe catapult them into a huge lead here that might be insurmountable. Push on top will be successful. Tower going down without a deny.
Radiant's top
The
tower
bear still left unchecked on bottom. 2.6k on him. Soon going to be a relic. Torrent going to fly and hit some creeps. The song from the Naga Siren going out. They can throw the boat maybe, but there's not really too many big ticket targets. Naga Siren pinging to go on Slardar, but instead they go on the Keeper of the Light. Going to go down. He's netted up. He's not escaping. Ace of Spades survives with his life. And an ultimate out of Naga Siren for a Keeper of the Light gives you a little bit of momentum, gives you a kill on your team. Some extra gold never hurt.
Dire's
And the
middle
bear actually
tower
forced the
is
TP out, getting locked down by the Timbersaw. That is his name. Does have up his Bloodstone now, so these kills from Timbersaw are going to start looking a lot scarier than they already are. Radiant isn't too far behind right now, but once this Bloodstone starts getting up in charges, you're going to have so much HP and mana just consistently that Timbersaw is going to be a constant pressure pretty much everywhere. He's going to be diving every single lane, but top lane, tower might go down here. The Familiar speeding up the push. TP in from Timbersaw, though, is going to signal their retreat. Might even go down here as the Naga Siren. Getting netted up, though. Going to be throwing a Chakram. Trying to clear those trees out and get a longer Timber Chamber. Not going to be able to do so. Trying to get a stun up. Here comes Final. Looking for a kill here. They're going to find a Naga Siren. Naga Siren is way out of position. Going to get stunned up here by an Impale. Brought down by a Chakram, and that's going to be her dead. So they're finding some pickoffs still. 18-6 so far. The gold lead getting more in their favor. 3,000 gold so far. The CS lead falling apart a little bit, but the bear is still solo farming on bot lane. Seeing at 2.8k right now. Needs to get those CS up. Missing a couple there. And rotations in now middle from the Dire team. Looking towards probably catching out Visage. Going to have a wraparound here on Final. And there's also an Invoker here that might be a target, but they're going to find the Visage first. Gets spotted out. Invoker needs to get out of here, but he force staffs up the cliff. Going to save his life, and I don't think they can really follow this out. There is an Impale available out of the Nyx Assassin. But the Familiar is going to spot him on out, not going to be able to go on it. And Jakes wants revenge. He's going for blood here. Ace of Spades is in the backfield, but not going to be able to go for him. Karagik getting a little bit far forward. Just farming up the creeps at this point. And they need to force some pressure on this bear. He's got 3.8k almost for that relic, and they're going for a Roshan attempt. No wards out of the Radiant team going to spot that out. I would imagine they might think that is happening, though. Dire's been pressuring you the entire game, and all of a sudden they're all going passive on you, and that's going to pretty much signal that that is indeed happening. But your Visage is going to go down here. Chakram being used. Getting a slow on him is pretty good. Impale needs to be used here. Can't get greedy with the Vendetta, but going to do so. There goes the Vendetta. There goes the Impale. The Chakram and the Whirling Death going to finish him off. And there's a Roshan for free going the way of the Dire. So far, just everything going kind of in their favor. Naga Siren not finding too much. She has found level 6, though. She's found her mana boots as well, so pretty good on her.
Roshan has
Force Staff and Hand of Midas in the hands of the Invoker. And the bear looking towards this relic fairly soon. Not the slowest relic in the game that I've ever seen, especially after phase boots as well as Tranquils on himself. Decently a good timing for that relic. And I feel like it'll still be viable once he gets that Radiance, which he most likely is going for. I can't imagine him going for anything else.
Dire's bottom tower
Probably
is
throwing the
under
bear up to
attack.
the secret shop now. Farming up a little bit more on mid lane to start it off, though. And Dire fall into a little passive position here. Blink Dagger or Nix's House is going to increase that initiation range on him, a deny on the top tower as well. Armlet available on Slardar as well as an Aegis to the Immortal. Keep it a little light, not too much on him, but not too surprised about that. Has a few things on the Courier. Is getting actually a 4-staff first, not going for that Mechanism. Already have it on the Darkseer. And he's going for a pipe next, so going to be having a lot of teamfight potential at Darkseer. His Wall of Replica, though, still not being leveled. I feel like that's a little bit of a mistake. Usually you want to get it level 2 at level 11, but so far it's working out for him, so I can't really say that for sure. Have enough max level vacuum to follow into the Wall of Replica is always nice, but a wraparound coming on Invoker now. Will he get out of this? He has 4 staff available, and Ace of Spades just going to back out. Doesn't really have anything to lock down easy with. And now Final, farming up the top lane. And I feel like they're not going to win this farming game. They need to put on some pressure here. They have Aegis on the Slardar. They have all their big ticket items up. They have the Mechanism. There's none to speak of on the side of the Radiant. Having up only a headdress on the Visage. Maybe going for a kill on Timbersaw here, but he's pretty tanky, sitting at a 10-charge Bloodstone. Ace of Spades as well. Not the weakest hero. Getting vacuumed in, a Chakram to follow, but not anything really to finish him off with. The ultimate in from the Naga Siren. Looking to set up something here. TP in from the Bear. Trying to make something happen. Alicious looking like he's going to go down here, but Kargik saving his teammate for now. The Chakram going to slow him all down, and he's getting low, actually. Kargik might go down here, and that's to slow him down. He's going to be locked in position. Timber Chain's away for now, but one more auto attack should finish him off. He actually uses Pocket Suicide to get him out of there. Impale out from Valiant. Going to be doing a little bit of damage, but not really catching anyone out of position. The Bear trying to chase him down. Final grabs easy with a bash, but not going to be able to lock him down long enough. Jakes needs to get out of here. The boat coming in. Going to lock down Final. Is going to go down, but he has Aegis. Alicious on the top of this fight. Going to be netted up. He will be brought down. Will anybody else die? Valiant going to be going down on the middle of that team fight. And Final now in a little bit of pursuit here, but can't really lock him down. There was many stuns under the Familiars, but not really used in time. A Sunstrike going to land, but not too big of a pickup there. He has plenty of time left on his sprint and just going to back on out. But Timbersaw coming in, looking like he wants blood. Throwing the Chakram out, gets cold snapped up. A lot of damage coming out here for this team. Kunkka now available. Torrent going to flying hit. Will they bring him down? The answer is yes. Down goes the Timbersaw, who's been dominating this entire time. Vacuum in, but still no wall. It is down. Visage, though, in a little bit of trouble. Try to juke in the trees. Going to be sprinted up, though, and just going to bash her down. Visage is not a woman, but apparently I thought she was for just a second. But Visage going down there at the end of the fight, and pretty good trading there from the Radiant, picking up the elusive Timbersaw. His Bloodstone charges, rather, sitting at 4. Having to use that Pocket Suicide to start off was a good deny. Gave his team a little bit of HP. But that second one I feel like wasn't necessary. Losing a lot of charges there. Was sitting at 10 before the fight, now sitting at a measly 4. And Radiance is now available on the Bear, so this is the time where your team is really going to push their advantage. There's also a Shadow Blade on the Kunkka. They found the CS they need. Hand of Midas on the Invoker is only going to catapult his lead even more. He has the Ultimate Scepter available as well. So going to be a lot of spells coming out of him in team fights. And does the Dire team really have what they need to deal with this? And I don't think the answer is going to be yes. I feel like they need to put on the pressure here, and they've really shown that they can at this point. The initiation out of the Naga Siren wasn't perfectly on time. They found out a Keeper of the Light, which was nice. They got a kill on the Slaughter as well. It wasn't that big wombo combo, though. And if you have all your heroes bunch up around the tower and you get caught out in that kind of combination with the Kunkka boat on top of the Naga Siren ult, plus, I mean, all of Invoker spells, the Meteor, as well as the, Deafening Blast. EMP is also an option. How are you really going to deal with that? You have Timbersaw, who's a great team fighter. He's very tanky. Excuse me, I lost control of my mouse there for a second. Very good team fighter. Slaughter is a pretty tanky hero. His armor is nothing to laugh at. His stun's pretty good. He has a Blink Dagger and an Armlet. But, I mean, all of these heroes are not really the big team fighters. Darkseer being the only one, as well as the Timbersaw. And versus a Bear, versus Visage, Invoker, Naga Siren, and Kunkka with superior farm and the superior late game, Dire team really just needs to pour on the pressure here, and so far they're not doing it. Timbersaw kind of hanging out with the smoke. They're in position to take maybe this tier 2 bottom. There is a TP though on the Bear, as well as the Kunkka, able to get in a position here. If they go for this tower, there's a Naga Siren Sleep available. They need to get a pick off first off, and a blink in from the Nyx Assassin, a surge in as well from Ace of Spades, looking for something. Naga Siren, though, ultimating on top of this. There needs to be a TP right now from the Kunkka, but not going to come out yet. The bear is available. Here he comes, going down an Ace of Spades, the wall as well as the vacuum to catch out the bear, but down goes Ace of Spades very quickly. Jake's going to be the response, going down to the hands of Nyx Assassin. Karga coming in now. Slardar actually went down. What the hell? I feel like he was a little bit out of position. Timbersaw forcing the Timber Chain on out of this one. The bear, though, following with the Radiance, going to be a big nuisance. Going to be just chasing down Alicious, and I don't feel like he's going to have enough to really deal with it. But Timbersaw actually getting caught out of position here. The Nyx Assassin is going to be one to pay the price, though. And now they're going to go on Karagek. He's going to try to Timber Chain away, but he Timber Chains more towards them. Going to be throwing his Chakram out. Actually, Visage getting killed by Ace of Spades with that kill from the dead. With the Ion Shell. Must have been on a creep or something. Kargik surviving for now. A whole team wipe. I don't understand how this happened. They got a little bit greedy there. The turnaround from Kargik just absolutely clutch. The Ion Shell managing to really do damage there from the dead. And what should have been a whole team wipe for them really didn't turn out too well. The TPN from Kunkka wasn't fast enough. You see him kind of pushing out the top lane before that fight even initiated. The ultimate out of the Naga Siren, and then it was a good 10 seconds before the Kunkka even teleported into that team fight. And now Dire looking in a bit of a better position. Ultimate orb up on the Timbersaw, looking towards probably a sheep stick on him.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
While Kunkka sitting at a Shadow Blade, hasn't got up his drums if he wants to go that route. Probably won't. More looking towards a crit stick, but he's getting wrapped around here. Blinking and misstunned by the Slardar. Kargik, though, following it up. There goes the Chakram. He's not long for this world. He is invis, but of course, the Slardar with his ultimate able to lock him down. Sees the vision on him. And the bear is not on res yet, so needs 5 more seconds to grab up his bear. So far, Radiant's done a pretty good job of weathering the storm, but the Dire team just doing their best to really get back into this. They were very, very far ahead. It was some crazy number like 10-1 early on. But now it's turned around a little bit in the favor of the Radiant, 13-27, and I feel if they have that perfect initiation, they're going to find some very easy team fights. This Timbersaw not going to look so scary once he has less charges on his Bloodstone, but it was down to 4 and already up to 9. So good job by him, managing to keep his cool, not kind of lose his focus after that lost team fight at bottom, and just turn it completely around. Looking at the gold graph, 4K still in the lead for the Dire team, as well as 5,000 experience. And this tier 2 tower is most likely going down. Naga Siren nowhere in position to ult on top of this. 10 seconds on her ult, though. Going to be standing kind of back near tier 2 middle, though, so not going to be in position at all to defend this. But the tower still stands. I feel like this rotation needs to come out right now. I don't know what she's just standing there for. Actually going to throw ult and then TP in. I don't know if that's the best option. There goes the ultimate. Needs to throw the boat out. Boat not going to fly. And not really much of anything going on for the Radiant team. Ace of Spades rather blinking in, throwing out the wall. There goes a lot of damage now. Chakram doing incredible amount of damage on top of this fight. The bear going down very soon. Visage already dead. Bear being chased down, but going to survive for the meantime. Ace of Spades running around the outskirts of this team fight. Karagik trying to be brought down by the Radiant team, but he's just so tanky. This can't be the hero you're focusing on. Down goes Kunkka. Naga Siren soon to follow. That's a 4-hero team wipe. This Invoker actually probably going to go down as well. Going to be bashed up. Needs to toggle his armlet. Good job by him. Gets the toggle off. But going to go down to the hands of Easy and his familiars. I'm not too sure. That should have been an easy kill on Invoker, but actually bringing down 2 heroes from the dead. Visage somehow getting a kill there with his familiars as well. And kind of turning that one around. It should have been a 4 for none. Even a 5 for none. But ended up pretty well in favor of the Radiant team. A little bit of a botched initiation there. I feel like the boat should have flown. I don't think it even went in that team fight. No, it did not. It was off cooldown, but there was no mana for it. Maybe that's why he didn't throw it in the first place. And the Dire still hasn't broken tier 3s. They broke 1 tier 2, but they're going to have to do better than that if they want to run away with this game. The Bear getting up a Basher now, has up a Javelin. Res is up as well for him. So does have his Bear up with a Radiance. Now with a Javelin, going to head into the Basher. And soon going to be a pretty viable force to reckon with in these team fights. Roshan is up. Just been spotted out by the Timbersaw, sitting at level 20 now. He's completely dominating in terms of hero levels, even now beating the Invoker who has a Hand of Midas at this point. The CS, 174 for the Timber Saw. Your Bear sitting at only 131. The Invoker even beating out the Bear. I feel like the Spirit Bear needs to do a little bit more in terms of CSing to really get himself into this game in a dominant position. Looking for a ward on Roshan, but not going to find it. The ward could be right here. They haven't spotted that out yet. But, in fact, it is not. So, going to be okay for them. And just head on into the Roshan pit. And Radiant's not going to spot this one out. Kargik, in fact, going on a little bit of a ganking adventure here. Maybe just trying to spot out the high ground. And now all of Radiant rotating towards this position. Kunkka coming in as well as a net available on the Naga Siren. Needs to net him up. There's the Torrent as well as the X-Mark spot. Bringing him back. Torrent bringing him up. There's the Meteor. Kargik in a lot of trouble. Gets stuck inside of a Deafening Blast. The Chakram not doing enough damage and having to suicide out of that one. This Roshan attempt is now foiled. The wall doing a lot of damage though. Jake's in a lot of trouble. Naga Siren ultimate is available. Needs to pop it if he wants to get out of this team fight. Really needs to pop it. Jakes, please pop your ultimate. You're going to let all of your teammates die. Now blinking in on top of the Kunkka. Kunkka getting saved a little bit by a tornado as well as an EMP. Going to be draining all of the mana out of final. But gets mana boots back up and going to be okay in terms of mana. Now they can try to turn, do a little bit of fighting here. Timbersaw coming back into this fight, picking up a kill on Visage with that low death counter from the Bloodstone. Able to get back into the fight very quickly. And now Roshan looking like an option again. Looking towards maybe a 4-staff on Valiant. Sunstrike spots it out, but can they really defend it? They're moving towards maybe doing so. Visage wants to send his familiars in, but at this point, you got to just surrender to Roche. If you run in there, you're just going to die. Feed your familiars. Feed a couple heroes. Not something you want to do, so... Oh, excuse me. I'm going to blame that one on Starladder. Had some pretty good Starladder games earlier on today. If you haven't seen them, go check a couple of them out. Big one going on right now, actually, is Rattlesnake versus Quantic. Going to decide top 4, so go look that up if you're interested in Starladder at all. But stick around for this game for sure, because you never want to miss some good in-house action. Timbersaw now having up his sheep stick. Going to be able to lock out the Bear out of this fight. Going to be able to lock Kunkka out of this fight. Whoever really he chooses. Having a 9-stone charge Bloodstone at this point, even though he's died quite a few times with the Bloodstone up, I mean, still sitting at 9 charges. The pocket suicides been very clutch at this point. I mean, he's gotten 2 off already. He's only had the Bloodstone for about 12 minutes. So even though they've been finding pickoffs on Timbersaw, he hasn't been dying. He hasn't been losing too much gold. He's been doing a good job in purchasing before he really needs to. And this tier 2 tower is in a lot of trouble now. Naga Siren isn't in position to throw an ultimate out though. Kargik getting locked down by the Naga Siren, and a Soul Assumption not going to do too much damage. Wall going to fly, going to be landing on top of these heroes. You need to counter-initiate this. There it is. Where's the boat? Kunkka, where are you? Going to be hiding in the tree still. Needs to throw this boat now. There goes the Torrent. No boat to fly though. Valiant going to be in a lot of trouble. Despite Carapace not being able to move all that damage, the Radiant's finally bringing him down. And Kargik going on these heroes now. Jake's in a lot of trouble. Very low HP. Down he goes. There goes the boat finally. A meteor to follow as well, and a good combination, bringing down Kargik very quickly. There goes the Aegis off of Slardar. Alicious in a lot of trouble. Gets stunned up. A good ensnare. Lucky ensnare out of him. Down goes the Darkseer in the backfield. Blink away, but going to be brought back due to the X marks the spot. Torn it up as well. Final is going to go down here in a 5-for-1 team fight. Looks like it's going to be. Nope, the Armlet Toggle is going to do good for him so far. Radiant's following him out though. Will he toggle it again? Manage to get out of it? No, he will not. So good job by them. Managing to get a very good team fight. It looks like that was going to be a disaster for the Radiant team. But managing to get that boat off, get the meteor off in that very constrained location right here. They were all bunched up, and the boat hit just as the meteor hit. So that was a full damage meteor just landing on top of everybody's head. And that's a max exort meteor too. BKB available now on the Invoker. Going to be surviving these team fights quite a bit longer, but already showing he can kind of just kite around the team fight, stay alive for as long as possible. Basher soon to come out on the Bear. Only needs the Belt of Strength so far, as well as the recipe, but he has enough money for that one. Looking at the net worth tab, it looks like Invoker is on top of the board with that Hand of Midas. Timbersaw, though, not far behind, sitting at 205 CS. Still managing to lead the board there. And the Bear just not having too much time to really farm up. But now, going towards the bottom lane, has his recipe actually off the courier, so not going to be able to pick that up from the side shop. Actually, he has everything. So there it goes on the courier. Deny on the bottom, tier 2, tier 1. And this counter push going to stop the bear from advancing from now. There's no really positioning from the Timbersaw to really get a kill, but I mean the bear going to be able to push out into the jungle now and find a CS there. And right now the Dire team, they need to find some sort of aggression. They need to break high ground soon. The Slardar is not going to continue to carry for you. The bear is finding a little bit more farm than your Slardar. The Slardar is sitting at 124 CS, or 82 CS, excuse me, while the bear is sitting at 160. So your carry is significantly winning as of right now, if you are the Radiant team. And Ace of Spades being a pretty damn good team fight player right now, with his wall, with his vacuum, the pipe and mechanism, keeping his teammates alive a lot longer, doing an insane amount of damage to the enemies, but proving not to be enough in these team fights. Even the Chakram out of Karagik not really doing too much anymore. There's just so much tank going on the Radiant team. They have this bear up to 2.4k HP. His bear sitting at, what is it, 2.7. And this bear doesn't really have too much in terms of armor. But that's not too big of an issue for you. You do have res available. If your bear does go down. And right now, all the bear has is a Basher and a Radiance, as well as a Orb of Venom, which is nothing to really count out. Doing a little bit of pushing on the top lane. There's no Roshan available for another 6 or so minutes. It's going to be a bit of an issue there for them. They kind of need that Aegis, as we've seen in these team fights. The Slardar are dying very, very quickly. Now we're looking towards this tier 2. Nagasire not in position to ultimate. Going to throw it now. TP in. Going to stop all these heroes in their track. Actually, we're going to find Karagate, but will it be enough? The Torrent's going to land on top of him. There goes the Torrent, but going to be dodging it actually. Ace of Spades blinking into the fight, doing a lot of damage with his Wall of Replica, but now he's getting very low. The boat's going to fly as well. Nagasire the only one going down. Bear doing quite a bit of damage. Needs to res his bear, though. It has died. Hasn't done it yet. Karagik now in a little bit of trouble. If this ensnare lands, he's going to be in a heap of trouble. He does end up going down. No ensnare needed. And Slardar being absolutely non-factor in that team fight. Not being in the middle of anything. And a Sunstrike gonna land, hitting on the Keeper of the Light. A good pickup there from Easy. Brilliant Sunstrike. Trying to get an ensnare out on Valiant. But proving, oh, no, Final blinking on in, but I feel like that's a mistake. Already your next assassin is dead, and Final getting auto-attacked to death, torrented up, and brought down. It's a 5-person team wipe now, only suiciding the Naga in, which is not a bad idea at all. You get the sleep off, you get that good initiation. Brilliant TP initiate from her. More than paying for herself. Keeper of the Light now sitting on boosted travels as well as the 4 staff, so your split push potential is pretty high. You can TP into the bottom lane, do a little bit of backdooring with another hero, but at this point, your tier 2 top is getting pushed out. Roshan is not available, but they're not going to need it to take this tier 2. Slardar down for another 30 seconds. Timbersaw is up in 1 second. There's no initiation available out of the Nagasine for another 30 seconds, though. Bear just going to beat a couple times in the tower and head on back home. They don't really feel the need to put on any pressure right now. They know the Bear's going to do a good job in carrying them if they give them the time to farm. And right now, what is his goal sitting at? 3.2k. So we can head towards maybe an AC would be a good idea. A good pickup for your bear. Gives him a lot of armor. Gives a good minus armor, 5 minus armor aura for the enemy team. Going to be fairly nice. And bear, of course, not benefiting from stats, so most items not really that beneficial to him. It's going to be that Hyperstone. So either a Mjolnir or an AC, but I feel at this point a Mjolnir not going to be as worthwhile. Does increase your farm potential, but right now I feel like AC is going to pretty much win you most team fights. AC not really an option for Slardar right now. Headed towards maybe a BKB in about 100 gold. Well, definitely a BKB. But at that point, I mean, your bear's going to be doing so much slap damage, I don't think you really care about that. The Ensnare are going to be locking them down in position. I mean, BKB is going to stop out the boat from Kunkka. It's going to stop out some Torrents. The Invoker not going to do very much damage at all to you, except for with his auto attacks. The Visage as well is brought out of the fight mostly in terms of killing the Slardar. But I don't feel like the Radiant really cares about Final in these team fights. His damage output is pretty low, sitting at 150 at 41 minutes. Has up an armlet and a blink dagger. His initiation power is pretty good. The Blink Dagger out of Darkseer, though, is probably going to be your main choice. It's going to be really up to the Dire team to initiate on this well, get a stun over a wall vacuum to really get them back into this. But again, with the counter initiation power out of the Naga Siren, probably not going to happen. But a smoke coming up now from the entire team of the Dire side. Going to be leading with Valiant, looking for something. They're going to find out that Easy is in the jungle. They're going to maybe find a Visage. Shouldn't pick out that regen rune, would be a mistake. Going to leave it there for now. And rotating on towards the middle lane. Jake's pointing out maybe they're smoke ganking us from their jungle, but in fact it's going to be from your jungle. Maybe catch out Easy. Timber Chain forward, not going to find anything. I think that was a little bit of an overcommit. And actually they are going to be smoke ganking over into their own jungle. And this is a great position for Dire team. Well, I guess the lane isn't pushed out, so it's not that fantastic of a position for them to be in. Both teams just kind of dancing around. Easy catching on up. And it looks like Visage has figured it out. They are in our jungle. So they're going to be smoked up for another couple of seconds here. Could get a jump on them. Going to be just farming up the mid lane though. And they're expecting this to come out from them right here. Pinging it on up. Timbersaw sees it. Looking towards maybe something here. Jake's is available for an ultimate though. Vacuuming him on in and blinking and impale on the Visage. There needs to be an ultimate out of the Naga Siren right about now. There's the ultimate. Where is the Kunkka? He's already dead. He died solo to the Slardar, so that's huge. I don't think they should try to get out of this team fight while they still can. Karagik, though, trying to get out of here. Jake's dying very quickly. The Wall of Replica proving to be a very good team fight item for them. Going to be throwing a meatball as well as a big ultimate out of the Invoker, but down goes the Visage as well as the Naga Siren. Easy goes down as well. That was a fight that you just needed to run away from. But instead, running straight into the fray, proving to be a terrible idea. They need to back out of this. Final, though, blinking in, getting a stun up on a Scotia. Doing a lot of damage. The minus armor on him as well, doing work. Bear, though, going to town on Valiant. Will he get a kill there? And the answer is no. Trying to save his own life. Going to town on Kargik now, but does go down eventually. And no pickups there for the Radiant team. The Dire team just barreling over them. Getting a pick off on the Kunkka early on. The Naga Siren not being able to couple with pretty much anybody in terms of the Kunkka with his ultimate. Not even a torrent to fly. And now Naga Siren and Kunkka are going to be trying to solo defend this barracks, which I feel like they can. Karagik, though, is pretty scarily tanky. He has 2.5k HP, only 8 armor. With reactive armor, you're going to get a lot of regen. And the wall is off cooldown. But pushing up onto the high ground now. They have reinforcements soon from the Slardar, who's healing up at base. The next assassin coming in. Net up on Karagik, though. Slow out from the Visage. Looking for maybe some mini stuns, but not going to be throwing out the damage. Keep with the light, pushing out the wave with his Illuminate, and this is going to be a dicey situation for the Radiant. If they manage to defend this, they might be able to drag out this game a little bit longer, but right now it doesn't quite look like it. Going to be slowing down Karagik, Torrent to fly as well, locking him down in position, the net as well. Going to be bringing him down, actually, getting stunned up by the mini stun, stopping out his Timber Chain. A good job from him, but Timber Chaining on out of there as soon as that's over. Throwing his Shiva's Guard. The Sunstrike gonna not hit anything, throwing it the wrong direction. Wouldn't have enough damage to pick him off anyways. And Slardar focusing on pushing out this top lane. Roshan is available now. Could head towards there at any time. D-Warden up. And the gold graph right now looking still securely in the lead of the Dire. The experience graph dipped in the favor of the Radiant a little bit. Just before that team fight went south of the mid lane. But now all of Radiant is smoked up, and I still am adamant that if they get these team fights off the way they plan, it's going to be a very good situation for them. Ultimate is available on Naga Siren. Mid lane. Only Kunkka sitting around right now, or Keep the Light rather. And actually a 5-man smoke up into the Roshan pit. The only one left out is going to be the Bear, who's going to be wandering in a little bit late. They're going to spot this one out. Nyx Assassin knows this is happening, but not really doing much of anything to stop it. Nobody's rotating in middle, so maybe not even knowing this is happening. Maybe just thinking, maybe this is going on. Maybe think about 4-staffing down to the pit. Not too sure what he's doing there. I think he knows. I mean, Keep It Light needs to throw an Illuminate over this. And it's going to go as soon as the Aegis is picked up. Cheese is on the ground. Pick up the cheese. Pick up the cheese. Nope, Timbersaw might get it. Going to be throwing the Chakram, and Timbersaw does indeed get the cheese. Needs to drop something to pick it up. And there goes the bottle in favor of the cheese. So letting cheese just go to the way of the Dire there is a little bit unfortunate. But now, I mean, they do have Aegis. Cheese on Timbersaw is a bit of a worry, but when you have the great initiation power out of your Naga Siren as well as your Kunkka, but look at this. Kargik finding out that there is a bear here. Blinking in is going to be Valiant, going down on Akosha, and that's going to be your Aegis being wasted here. It was picked up by a bear, and bear goes down now. Is there a nope, he's going to come back in the weak form, and now he is up. There's the Timber Chain, going to be thrown over at Chakram, actually, excuse me. Ult in from Naga Siren, but so much damage coming out. Akosha taking so much damage. He's still alive, though, somehow. Gets brought down by Final. The bow going to fly and land on Coddle. Going to take him out of the fight. Ace of Spades most likely going to go down here, but Jake's being initiated on the outskirts of that team fights. There goes down Ace of Spades. Buyback from Keeper of the Light. He has those boots of travel, so can come back in fairly soon. Can bring back in the Darkseer as well if he buys back. And Kargik looking for something here. Throwing his Chakram on top of the Visage. Visage is going to go down. Good pickup from them. Hit a 1 second death counter for a second. That was kind of strange. And Timbersaw coming on forward. Looking to continue this push out. And now I feel like they have the tools to do it. Timber chaining on the high ground, a little bit greedy here. Going to be sheep sticking up easy. Might go down. Timber chaining forward as well as a Whirling Death. Going to bring it back from the X marks the spot. Stunning him up with the mini stuns out of the familiars. But doesn't really care about that. Just Timber chains on back out of there. And this might be a Rax here. Buyback out of the Invoker. Visage, no buyback available on him. The Bear, nowhere close near buyback. And he's still down for 30 seconds. You have Cheese still available on your Timbersaw. There's no Aegis on the Radiant team. And the Kunkka is actually split pushing the top lane. I feel like this is a fantastic time for you to push. But I guess not. Guess they don't agree. Going to be pulling out of there. Feeling like they just don't have enough to really push high ground. But I mean, Naga Siren Ultimate's even offline. But pretty confident in their Slardar, it looks like, to kind of win these team fights for him, as well as Kargik, who's just been rolling over the entire Radiant team. Going to be Sheep's guarding, but nothing to really stop him. There's a Sheep Stick going to stop him in his tracks, actually. Excuse me. Going to be trying to pick him off now. Net's going to be available. Locks down Kargik. And Keeper of the Light throwing back some enemies. Stunned up, though, is Kargik from the mini stuns. Not enough damage to bring him down, though. No lockdown either. Bear is in town, though. Daedalus available on the Kunkka. If they get a good crit in this good engagement I've been talking about, it could spell disaster for the Dire team. But so far, just not being able to do so. Level 25 on this Timbersaw, 24 on the Invoker. The only one close to both of those heroes is the Bear, sitting at 21. And getting up that plate mail, so it will be indeed a AC out of him. Jake sitting out, lying in the edges of this lane, looking for an initiation. He has Song of the Siren available. There's positioning well for his teammates. There goes the Tornado and EMP, landing on nobody. Jake's walking in here pretty aggressive, throwing a Song of the Siren, only catching out Ace of Spades as well as Valiant. Valiant does get on the edge of it, and I feel like this is a bit of a botched engagement. Ace of Spades can just turn around on this and throw a wall if he chooses to do so. A blink in from Final, gonna seal the deal. They are initiating on this fight. Kargik coming in. The Bear trying to do work on Kargik, but he's stuck behind this Chakram, not being able to get in range. The Bear is going down very soon. Is there res? The answer is no. Visage going to town now, trying to pick off somebody. The Slardar are forced to get out of this fight, and a blink in from Kargik with the Timber Chain. Going to be doing a lot of damage. Blinking and stun now from Final. Both these heroes are going to go down. Kunkka as well as the Bear, both dead. Visage in close pursuit of him. Easy, the only one not really taking much damage in that fight. And the Song of the Siren, just not finding enough heroes, not finding that group. Getting a little bit antsy when he threw that. And this top lane looking to be in a bit of trouble, throwing the Tornado as well as EMP. Down goes Kargik, maybe here. Getting stunned up under the tower by Cold Snap as well as the mini stuns out of the familiars, but he's just so tanky. 17 charge Bloodstone going to now in the middle of this fight. He's already back to max health. Look at his regen, it's 32 per second. He does not have a heart. That's just Bloodstone as well as his reactive armor. The Invoker goes down. There's a Chakram on top of a Vacuum. Both Visage as well as the Naga Siren dying here. Actually, Visage surviving with his life, but the surge forward should seal the deal. One punch should kill. Nope, 2 punches maybe. Is slowed down. No Vacuum available. Ion Shell is available, and there goes the blink onto the low ground, actually, not high ground, from the Timbersaw. Gonna be bringing him down, and this Rax is gonna go down. There's no buyback on any of these heroes, I don't believe. Only Timbersaw being the lone member of the game, gonna have buyback available. What is this pool of, oh god, 6k gold. I mean, if you look at the gold graph, not too much in terms of the lead, actually. I'd expect it to be larger. There's a Torrent landing on Kargik, but he doesn't really care. Tanking up this tower, 33 now almost regen on him in terms of HP. The The Visage Illusions bringing the wave kind of far back. Torrent going to land on top of the Darkseer. Get a good pick off there. There's no Karga to defend you, buddy. Going to be picking up a Reaver. Vitality Booster. Heart soon to follow. Just not finding these initiations so far out of the Kunkka as well as the Naga Siren. That's really going to catapult them in the lead. I mean, look at this last hit graph. Pretty much shows the games, how the games are going. 18-6 on a Timbersaw, 303 last hits. The closest behind him is Invoker at 238, and then 237 on the Bear. They got these great lanes early on, but they just weren't able to really capitalize on them. They found very good kills though on the Dire team side rather, which has kind of just continued on this entire game. The momentum not really stopping too much, the graph only dipping one time in favor of the Radiant this whole entire way down the line. And Final now getting up an AC of his own before the Bear even finds his. Now has built his own AC, so that AC on Final has been cancelled out, but at this point, I mean, I think that puts you at a disadvantage. The armor is just stronger on this Slardar, sitting at 23 now. Going to be sitting at... They're not sitting at 33, excuse me. Going to be sitting at 27. 28, actually, with that debuff out of the Assault Cuirass. And the Bear only sitting at 21. Going to be sitting at around 16. And at that point, I mean, the Bear is kind of the cornerstone of your team right now. You need to get these initiations. You need to give this Bear time to bash down on his enemies, but so far just not finding it. He's been locked down in almost every team fight. The Sheep Stick proving to be absolutely crucial, and 20 charged Bloodstone. That is damn scary. I mean, he's going to instantly respawn when he dies. Boots of Travel going to be purchased, probably, unless he doesn't have the money to do so. And there goes a smoke from all 5 heroes looking for a kill, and I can't imagine they don't find it. There's a lot of heroes out on the map for the Radiant team side. Kunkka is all the way on this top lane. Going to be TPing towards bot though, but they're going to find a Bear here, and that's a huge pick off. Going to vacuum it up, the wall to follow, not taking any chances. Valiant getting pretty low, and the Bear surviving for now, but down goes his Spirit Bear, trying to TP out, not going to be able to do so. The initiation out of the Invoker, not being able to do much of anything. There was an EMP in that fight, and now looking for an Impale on the Visage, going to catch him out. Mana Burn as well, Final blinking in with a stun. Radiant needs to turn this around if they want to win this game, but Kargik just running over everybody. BKB now popped on the Invoker. It's down to a 6-charge BKB, and it's just looking ugly. This lane is not pushed out, though, so no backdoor protection being brought down. Creep's not going to be there for quite a while. And a Meatball flying down over this, as well as a Deafening Blast. Going to be landing on Ace of Spades, getting relatively low, but Final blinking on in. The Sunstrike hitting nothing, and down goes the Kunkka in the middle of all this chaos. Valiant Spike Carapace up, looking for a stun maybe on Jake's. Throws a Mana Burn. Actually, there was a stun on cooldown. And Jake's ulting might not even survive. Does indeed survive, but it's looking pretty grim for the Radiant team. You never had a game of Dota 2, but just finding the pickoffs they need on the Dire side, finding the gold and experience they need to kind of catapult themselves into a lead here. Just absolutely devastating lead at this point. 12k gold, 8,000 experience. And Kargik just walking on top of everyone. Vacuuming in those creeps, trying to bring him down as quick as possible. And down goes this tower. The Bear is up in 15 seconds. There's no Song of the Siren. The blink in from Final going to lock down these heroes. Ulted on Kunkka. Sees him even though he's invisible. Down he goes. Locked into a bash. Visage trying to do damage to Final. There's a lot of damage coming out of these familiars and going to bring him down. But Kargik going to town on Jakes. Will he have enough damage? Might have to back out of this one. Throwing his shock him over this fight. Jakes is getting a little bit of dicey position though. Might want to be a little bit more careful, but Timbersaw going to back on out of that one. Doesn't have his Sheep Stick up. And down goes Ace of Spades to a Meatball, as well as the Deafening Blast again. So just hating the Darkseer with that one. And Kargik actually backing out of here, so they have not defended this Rax though. Does go down. Gonna give them a lot of creep advantage. Did manage to pick off 2 heroes in that fight, but they're gonna have to pretty much just push out middle at this point. They need to show a little bit of dominance in the map. Roshan is available soon. They could maybe go for a Roshan here, but I feel like with this Darkseer down, he does have buyback available. So you can't really push into that. There is a buyback available on Slardar as well. So push not going to work out in your favor. Roshan's really your only option right now if you are the Radiant team. And that's what they're going to be headed for, it looks like. Picking up an Illusion Rune, maybe scouting with it. They already have Illusions on Naga Siren now. Sitting back in the backfield, looking for an ultimate. Roshan dying pretty quickly. Probably going to go the way of Scotia. So I still know. I'm just going to call him Scotia because that's how I feel his name should be pronounced. Don't know for sure. I apologize if that is incorrect. I'm going to be just backing out of this one. And I feel this time you're not going to win a farming game. Dire team isn't going to let that happen. And Kargi actually feeling like they have to be pretty defensive here. I don't know. I don't feel like I really agree with that. I feel like if you force your hand on the map, they haven't been finding these Naga Siren ultimates that are really going to put you out of position, and they're actually smoking up. So, agreeing with me, not thinking they have to be defensive. Getting up another Reaver. Look at his HP, 4.1k on a Timber Saw, 24 charged Bloodstone, almost maxed out on that. No Boots of Travel on him though, but I don't think he's going to die, so I don't even think he has to worry about coming back to life and TPing in. And looking towards maybe a top lane, just all 5 push to end this one out. Just standing with a couple of ion shells, not showing they're smoked out quite yet, but out they come from the smoke. So Radiant team is going to spot that one out, maybe get in position for a good Siren Song. But I feel like you should just wait for them to go on this tier 3. They're probably going to have a Timber Saw diving you, and then just ultimate out, throw down the boat, try to pick out some heroes barring the Timber Saw. You're not going to bring him down. His armor sitting at upwards of 30 armor with that reactive armor. And at that point, you can maybe think about turning it around with a Kunkka boat, picking off maybe Slardar, maybe the Darkseer. Wouldn't be bad targets. Nyx Assassin and Keeper of the Light would die pretty easily, and actually a TP back from Mace of Spades is going to be defending this tier 2 bottom. Keeper of the Light though, nope, actually he TP'd in, so can't bring his teammates back into the fray. So Dire giving the Radiant a little bit of a chance here. Bear not getting anything besides that Assault Cross so far, but does have 2.4k. And a pause coming out. So, gonna have to wait for this one to resume. Dire obviously having the clear lead in this one though. 14k experience, 6k, 14k gold rather, 6k experience. So if you're the Radiant team, I mean, how are you really going to come back from this? You're going to have to get a team fight that goes in your favor, is the thing you're going to have to get. I mean, one team fight isn't going to be enough even. Timber Saw going to be coming back to life incredibly quickly with the Bloodstone, not to mention a buyback if you choose to do so. Getting up another heart on the Courier, has a Vitality booster. Not worried about buyback. And with this Darkseer, I mean, I still think a little bit they haven't done here is if you vacuum into a wall plus a stun out of Slardar, I feel like would be incredibly devastating. And the pause coming out. Karkic, I'm pausing it immediately. Gonna be repausing it, asking if they're ready. And the go is called by Kunkka, so we will be getting back into this one. Daedalus is available on him still. No BKB on him. I feel like that would be a better item to get first off besides the Daedalus. Although Daedalus, kind of crucial for your team fight at this point. Karkic just going to be unkillable after he gets the second heart. His regen is going to be through the roof. Probably sitting at somewhere around like 50, 60 HP a second. It's going to be fountain regen, most likely. But the Dire team playing it a little bit passively. There is an Aegis on the spare, which is something to worry about. The Spirit Bear can knock down on you while you're dead if you're Lone Druid. So it is a little bit of a trouble for them. But I feel like at this point, I mean, it's going to be a very hard comeback for the Radiant. And Dire just really needs to push their advantage while they still have it. Roshan's still going to be up with the token for another 3 minutes. So maybe waiting for that one to wear off and then just push it on out. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Wait for that second heart on your Timber Saw. You need to get a little bit more far ahead to get your comfort zone. CS Graph still leading the board is the Timbersot, 356 CS. The Bear trying his best to keep up, 302 on him, but just not being able to find the split pushing power with the Bear to get that extra CS. And actually missing a lot here. So only getting one entire wave, kind of a misstep, but a little bit afraid to go up on the high ground just because of the possibility of a gank out of the Dire team. They've been active all across the map the entire game. Nowhere is really safe for you to farm, and the Bear's kind of feeling the crunch at this point. 3.1k in the bank. Buyback status, he has it available. And about another 2 minutes left on the Aegis, and I'd imagine that both teams are just going to stand back and farm until that really happens, and then the Dire team's going to feel like they have the advantage again. It just goes super late. Bear probably going to be able to carry his team out, but as it stands, it looks like Naga Siren and the Kunkka are just not having the synchronized kind of ultimate ability to find these team fights in their favor. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with that one, but it's just really the whole cornerstone of this game has been the inability for Radiant to find these team fights in their favor. Hasn't really been a farm-centric game for either team. Slardar not really the hardest carry. If you get him farmed up, it's okay. I mean, he has an AC, a BKB, an armlet, as well as a Blink Dagger, so he's pretty much full slotted as of right now. Get one more item up. But a 5-man smoke now out of the Dire team. Roshan token still up for another minute, though. I don't know why they're not waiting for this one. A blink in from Valiant can end in disaster, possibly. The counter initiation out of Jake's. They need to throw the boat now. End the sleep. Throw a torrent. There's the boat. Needs to cancel the sleep. Out it goes. Only going to catch one. Karagik is the only one hit, and he's not going to be able to go down very easily. The Bear trying to run through this Chakram and do some damage, but just so much damage being done to the Bear. The Resurrect is online, though. Probably should send that one back to the base, and the ultimate out of Darkseer is used as well, but now your big Wombo combo is not available. The Darkseer is on cooldown for now. Might wait for him to get his ult back up, and then head on back in. Keeper the Light pushing out the bottom lane. Has Boots of Travel available. Dire team not really pushing their advantage at this point. They could wait for the next Roshan, pick up the Rosh token for Slardar. I can't imagine the Radiant winning a team fight there with a wall as well as this vacuum inside of the pit. Would probably end a disaster for them. They do have the Kunkka boat, but at this point in the game, I mean, as you saw there, it only hit Karagik. They can hit all 5 of these heroes without BKBs being popped. I feel like it would still end in pretty much disaster for the Radiant. The team fight is just not there right now. The Bear is not fed enough. He has an AC and now an Abyssal Blade. He needs to throw that on himself, most likely. I don't know why it shows that it's silenced. And now here looks like the push coming out there. The Invoker throwing out a Tornado as well as an EMP, but not doing too much damage at all to their mana pools. Look at that mana regen on Timbersaw. 53 base mana regen with that Bloodstone, with the extra mana regen out of the Scythe device, as well as the intelligence out of the Shiva's Guard. I mean, he's sitting at almost 200 intelligence right now. Going to be looking to engage here on Akosha. There goes the Blink in out of Ace of Spades. Not going to catch anybody in that wall, though. The vacuum not available. Naga Siren ulting, running into the front of this team fight. Looking like they might want to go on Ace of Spades, but if they go on him, they're just going to get stuck in this wall. The boat to fly as well as the meatball. There goes the big ultimate out of the Invoker as well. Going to be doing a lot of damage. Jake's getting very low, but actually surviving for an exceedingly long period of time. Darkseer does go down in this engagement, as well as the Naga Siren. Valiant trying to do the best he can to survive, but going to be having to force staff out of this fight. Easy, looking like he might go down here, but the Bear trying to go to town on Karagik. He has 2 hearts though. Look at his HP. How will you kill him? Bear trying to bring him down. Oh, no one snares the fly, but hits a good Torrent. A blind Torrent going to be catching 2 heroes. Valiant getting very low. Radiance taking away his health very quickly. Sunstrike missing on both these heroes, but both would have been an easy kill if that would have landed. And Valiant managing to survive for the time being. Needs to just blink out of here. Karagik trying to survive in the meantime, but easy. Lift him up. There goes the EMP. Going to be trying to do a little bit of damage. Cold snapping up as well. No Timber Chain away for you. Going to be torrented up as well, but he does get the pocket suicide up and an instant respawn. has enough money for those boots of travel. There they are, going to be coming back into this team fight. And if the Radiant team tries to push out, it's going to be ending in disaster. The Darkseer is available very soon, 37 seconds on him. Roshan around the same time, probably about a minute and 20. So Radiant showing a little bit of life here, but will it be too much too late?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Carver is still so tanky, but the Darkseer is down, and they're still trying to push this tier 3 bottom. Blink in from Final, going to be catching 3 heroes, but will they have enough damage to pick him off? Kunkka turning it around, has a mechanism. The boat going to come in. There's a torrent. Needs to end that sleep. There it goes. Lands on top of 2 heroes. Actually landed a little bit beforehand, but the Soul Assumption going to pick off Final. Alicia's getting kind of low here. Going to be probably going down to maybe a tower. The Sunstrike actually going to land and get a pick off there. Karagik having to back on out of this one. Visage trying to slow him down. Timber chaining away. Not going to have enough to pick him off unless he directly engages this. Easy though. Looking for a kill on Valiant. Will he find it? The answer is no. Karagik trying to do something to save his teammate. And so far succeeding. A Sentry Ward being popped out from the Dire, and then Bash actually going to be locking him in position. And pulled back though in the X marks the spot, torrented up. He still has a 16 charge Bloodstone. No pocket suicide for you this time. Not going to be able to get out of this situation. And a 35-second death for him. So they're finally chipping away at this Dire team, which has been showing all of this dominance the entire game. The Rape flies out of the Kunkka. That is offensive, sir. Going to be nuking down this creep wave middle, trying to push it out the best they can. Roshan is available now. A very good option for them. I don't know why my camera's so far back. It's kind of freaking me out. It has fixed itself miraculously. And Ace of Spades just pushing out this top lane. Has his Aghanim Scepter available, so a little bit more damage for him. Sunstrike gonna fly, try to harass. Not gonna find too much. Pushing out the lane a little tiny bit. And now rotation of the Roshan pit. This bear's fairly low. Has res available though. There goes the res. 120-second cooldown on that now. And Karagik not going to let that happen if he has anything to say about it. Where is Naga Siren? She is in the base. Song is available, but she's not going to be in this fight. There goes the Aegis. She's picked up by the bear. And Karagik wanting to do something here, but I think he's getting a little bit cocky right now. Getting a little bit far forward. If they turn on him, it could be a bad situation for Karagik. But going to be able to back out of this for now. And the bear showing can really do a lot in terms of countering his team. It's getting to that late stage of the game where even though you've had this pretty dominant lead, it's starting to fall off here. 10k gold lead only now, bringing it back in their favor by about 6k. 8,000 experience lead, but that's starting to not really matter. All these heroes are nearing 25. And that experience lead isn't going to do too much for you then. Darkseer moving up towards the top lane to push this one out. Looking towards pushing up this top tower, but I feel like that could end badly for them. Might end up just better trying to force an engagement on their terms at the Dire side of the map. Eventually Radiant's going to have to push, but then it's going to be with a pretty farmed up bear, so feeling like they have to push this right now. Going to be attacking a building. Trying to throw a ward on the high ground. They know that's been thrown down. Sentry ward probably going to fall. There's no sentries out on any of these heroes though. Sentry ward's on the courier for Visage. And the Dire team trying to do a little bit of a slow push here, but they don't have too much to assault the high ground with. Most of their team is focused on team fighting. A lot of HP on them though. 3k on the Slardar. Almost 5 on Timbersaw. Double heart, 10 charge Bloodstone is getting withered down. It was at 25 for quite a while. But being locked down in those team fights, being able to pick them off, and getting a little bit over ego here maybe. Going over this team fights, Ace of Spades blinking in, looking for something, throwing out the wall a little bit early, a double wall to come out. Gets torn it up though. There's the Tornado as well as the EMP. Going to be locking down Ace of Spades, no backing to follow. Gets the double wall off though. There's a lot of illusions going to be coming out of here, and Visage getting very, very low. Ace of Spades not able to pick him off. What else is going on in this team fight? There's a boat coming in. Ace of Spades getting very low. Finally gets picked off. Nyx Assassin as well to fall. Naga Siren ulting on out of this one. BKB being kind of wasted on the Kunkka. The bear having to back out of this as well, and Kargik going to go to town on this Rax. These illusions need to go to town as well on this Rax, but they're not being controlled. Now focusing down the Rax, the Meatball to fly as well as the I can't remember the name of that sometimes. Deafening Blast. I don't know why. Play a lot of Invoker. And down goes Slardar. Possibly manages to survive with his life. The bear trying to push forward. Kunkka though goes down to the hands of Kargik. Akoshka. Could he go down here? There is an Aegis on him. The bear does still stand, but where is his bear? He does have res available. Going to be trying to go to town on Kargik. Now turns it around. He has his small form on the high ground, trying to lock him down. There's no BKB, or bashes rather, flying out. Final low, blinking in, getting a little bit over eager, and Kargik on the retreat now. Will he get picked off by Easy? The answer probably yes. Trying to slow him down with the ultimate, but not going to be able to do so. This mid lane, though, being pushed out pretty quickly. Gabriel of the Light trying to push that one out, but not going to be successful. Throwing a ward on the high ground, just dipping out. And the Radiant does survive to see another day, keeping their top racks alive. Their hopes and dreams of their future are still standing. But the gold lead's still the way of the Dire, but it's starting to look not so important. This double heart build not really working out in his favor. He's not dying very quickly, but they're not doing enough damage to bring down Lone Druid. The armor is just too strong on him. No auto attack damage really coming out on the entire team of the Dire. The damage on Slardar, even for 71 minutes, is sitting at 180 plus 33. Excuse me, so a little bit over 200 damage. Heaven's Halberd on Naga Siren. If you look at the items tab, I mean, everybody's pretty much finding all the items they really want. Akoshka, of course, not really showing what he has there. I mean, your Naga Siren is looking towards a Blade of Alacrity and probably a Diffusal Blade soon. Your Kunkka has up his BKB, his Daedalus, and his Shadow Blade. Can't remember the words of things for some reason. 71 minutes. Kind of starts to take his toll after a while. Starting to remind me a little bit of IG versus DK. Hopefully we won't get a 90-minute game out of this one, though. Not quite as farm-centric build of a game as that, though. A lot more action, so I can't really say that about it. It'd be kind of docking this game if I were saying it was DK versus IG. Bear picking up a Demon Edge. Most likely looking towards an MKB. I can't see him going for a Daedalus. I can't see him going for a what's it called? A Divine Rapier. That would be a little bit of an over-aggression, I do believe. Roshan is not up for quite some time. This would be a good time for Naga Siren to initiate on this team fight. They have vision of the high ground. They know they're all bunched up. And I feel like these team fights are theirs to win. They can't let it come to the racks. Blink in now from Ace of Spades. He's going to be throwing out a wall. Double wall. Nope, isn't able to get it off again. Torn it up immediately. There goes the boat. Going to land an Ace of Spades. The second wall does not land. And Kargik taking a lot of damage here in the middle of this team fight. He's so tanky, but he is eventually going to go down. Spirit Bearer doing a lot of damage to Akosha, staying alive for a significant amount of time. The Deafening Blast landing on final. The Meatball as well. Brings down the melee racks, but Kargik is going to go down here. And that's going to be a significantly longer death timer than he's used to. Net up on the Keeper of the Light, going to be force-staffing himself forward, but the big ticket item is Kargik, and they're not finding the kill on him. Actually, a huge mana burn. Look at that damage on Keeper of the Light, or on Invoker, rather. Torrent back on the Keeper of the Light, going to bring him down. Kunkka running around with absolutely no HP, and Kargik wants more. He's looking for this bottom tower. Will he be able to bring it down? The Spirit Bearer is in position to really deal with this. I feel like they can't do anything about it. MKB going to be available. Kargik forced to back out. The Radiant still standing strong. They lost that top racks, though. The middle tier 4s are going down soon, and just getting pushed to death so far. The ultimate aggression coming out of the Dire team just proving to be a little bit too much for them to handle. Slardar kind of paying off a little bit more than I would have expected, sitting at 16 and 12. Didn't show too much worth in that early stage of the game, but the Radiant not able to find those kills early on, actually being the ones giving up the kills, letting them get a chance to really dominate into the mid stages of the game and even into the late stages of the game. I wouldn't say that Radiant's in exactly a dominant position. Roshan is still down. Karagak is already up, looking towards split pushing this bottom lane. If you go all out aggression on mid, you're going to have to end it quick, and there's no tier 4s here. If they get creep in the base, it's going to be a lot of issue for you. That Ancient does not have too much HP. You do have Fortify available. Heading down towards the middle lane, looking towards this tier 3. Valiant's in position to maybe go for a little bit of something on the back foot. Naga Siren ultimate is available, though. There goes the blink in as well as the wall out of Ace of Spades. Going to be locked down immediately, though. Kargik coming into this fight. Charkham doing a lot of damage. The reinitiation going to come out, though, from the Radiant team. BK beat up is the Kunkka, going to do a lot of damage. Valiant going to be the target. No, he's going to be able to force staff out of there. And Jake's getting chased down by Kargik. He has so much HP. Not going down very quickly. Gets meatballed up. Is there a cold snap to follow? Yes, there is. Jake's does go down. Easy still standing. Where is the Spirit Bear? Bear is back at base. What the hell? He TP'd out. His Spirit Bear is down. 10 more seconds. And chasing out now, Karg going on easy. I feel like this is going to be the end of the game for them if they don't manage to turn this one around. Easy, BK being up. Doesn't have a TP scroll. Has 4 staff. No gem on any of these heroes. He is caught inside of this ultimate of Slardar, though, throwing a harassment meteor. There's the ice wall to slow him on down, but there's a blink dagger available on him, so he's just going to blink over it, stun him up. The Chakram doing a lot of damage. Whirling Death going to finish him off. And this tier 4 and the Ancient probably going to fall here. No reason to go for Rax. The Spirit Bear not going to be able to defend solo versus all of these heroes up on the higher side. Valiant, though, is pretty damn low. But I mean, Timbersaw, how are you going to bring him down solo? You've been relying a lot on the lockdown potential of the Naga Siren, of the Kunkka, to really bring him down in these team fights. And they're actually going for the Rax on bottom lane, which I think is a little bit of a mistake, but shouldn't be too bad for them. I feel like this Rax is not going to be long for this world. Double Catapult going to be bringing down the tower fairly quickly. Spirit Bear looking to get in position. Split pushing top is going to be final with absolutely no HP. He has an armlet though. Karagik just manning up, attacking the tower, doesn't care what's hitting him, and that could be his death. He has 3 hearts. Look at that HP. He doesn't even have the regen from the hearts right now, and it's 31.9 per second. Gonna be nuking down Visage though. Visage still standing strong at a lot of armor, and Final bringing down the tier 4. This Ancient is now bare. Fortify being used. He got a couple of slaps in on it. I feel like Kargate can just walk in and auto-attack these buildings at this point. And there's not too much you can do about it, but initiation out from Jake's going to be going down on all of these heroes. There's not too much to follow it up with, though. There's a Riptide, not going to do enough damage. Valiant going to town on Jake's. Going to be able to blink in with Final, bring down Jake's fairly quickly. Double wall coming out. This Rax is not long for this world. Jake's wants to turn this one around, yelling go at his team. But his team is not following up. There goes the boat, going to be landing on nobody. Ace of Spades will go down here, but the Rax as well. Final Rax of the game going to go down. The Ancient being brought down by creeps in the meantime. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. I can't imagine this gets defended by the Radiant. A good showing out of the Radiant, showing a lot of... Well, nope, it is still in the game for now. Triple kill going the way of Visage. Apparently powerhousing everyone down here. But the Ancient is the real big ticket item. Kargik turning around, picking up a kill on the Kunkka. And there goes the GG well played, the offensive GG well played. But at this point, I mean, it's pretty much a good game. Ancient is going to go down here, and that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching. This has been a cast from the ESP guild in Dota 2. One of the biggest guilds in Dota 2, I believe it is the biggest guild, if I have been told correctly. Does in-houses every day, all across the world, from Australia to North America, Europe, everybody getting in on the prize. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be back for another one. Maybe we'll do so. But if not, I will see you guys next time.